Hello and welcome along to the virtual open event for information technology and computing courses at Trowbridge. Okay, firstly, just to say that I am recording this morning's presentation. So obviously for anyone who misses it, but also if you want to watch back, if you miss some of the information, you will be able to watch back and see that. And the other thing really to say at this point is that the chat is open on the meeting. So if you have a question that comes up as we're going through, then feel free to paste that into the meeting chat. I've put my email address in the meeting chat. If I do struggle a little bit with time to answer any questions, please email me as well if you have a query that doesn't get answered. So if you want to take my email address from the chat, you could communicate with me later by email if any queries come up. Okay, so my name is Jeff Whiffin, and I'm the Deputy Head of Department for Business, IT and Entrepreneurship at Trowbridge. And many thanks for joining me today. We're going to be running through the computing and IT courses that we offer at Trowbridge campus and really look at those options to hopefully help you, enable you to make the correct decision for your course choice. Okay, so obviously, we're unable to do a physical open event at the moment, so we're doing a virtual open event. So just so that you've seen some of the faces of staff members that you would have normally have seen in person, this is the teaching team for computing and IT courses at Trowbridge. So we have Glyn Drake, who really does our business IT related subjects at Trowbridge. So she tends to teach on units that cover subjects such as spreadsheets, databases, social media, and she also teaches on our business courses as well. So it's kind of our business IT link. Tom Rouse, who teaches mainly on programming and games development, but does do some other subjects as well at level 2. Myself, a little bit of an older picture, but myself and I tend to teach on hardware networking course units, but I also do web development as well on the courses. Bob Wilcox, who does some lab work around hardware and software and really looks at IT technical support. Okay, so we have, thinking about the offering, we have a range of full-time courses, all with Pearson and BTEC across the levels. So we have a level 1 offering, a level 2 offering, and potentially 2 offerings at level 3. So all with BTEC, but across the range of levels, okay? So that would enable progression from one level to the next. So the courses are broad-based. A wide range of subjects, all cover a wide range of subjects in the IT sector. And we're going to look at some of those units in a little bit more detail through this presentation. So the level 1 course is an introductory diploma, which is a 1-year course. Now the level 2 course says level 1/2. It comes with a level 1 fallback. So that does mean if you didn't meet the level 2 standard, that you could still walk away with a qualification. But most people would achieve the level 2. So even though it's classed as level 1/2, it really is the level 2 course. And this is information and creative technology. So it's got a lot of IT subjects which kind of lead into the level 3, which we'll look at in a minute. But also it's got a creative element, so you will look at some kind of creative subjects within that course as well. Again, we'll see in a minute. We are looking at offering 2 level 3 courses. So we've got the main information technology or IT across 2 years. So it starts with a foundation diploma in year 1 and moves on to an extended diploma in year 2. And we'll look at that one again, like all of these courses, in more detail across the course of this presentation. And then we've got the National Diploma in Computing. Now that would be offered with an A-level in maths as well. Okay, so that's a slightly different offering that we're looking to trial. And again, I'll show you details on that throughout the presentation. So that's just kind of the headlines at this stage. A different offering, all through BTEC, but the ability to progress from level 1 to level 2. Level 2 to level 3. So making your decision over which course would be correct is mainly down to entry requirements. IT and computing are a little bit different to some subject areas in that you can come in at a specific level depending upon your current GCSE grades. And that, so you don't have to study level 1 and then level 2 and then level 3. You can join directly into the level 2 or the level 3 depending upon your current kind of GCSE grades that you would hold. Okay. And then successful completion of any level will enable progression. So you can always move onwards and upwards throughout the levels. If you came in at level 2 because of your GCSE grades, you could move on to the level 3 the year after. Okay, so entry requirements for the courses. These are standard kind of entry requirements across the college, so not just for computing and IT, but we see the level 1 course is an expectation of 4 GCSEs at grade 2 or above. We do have a foundation offering, so if that entry requirement wasn't met, it may be possible for you to infill and do a little bit of computing, but begin with our foundation department. So if you've met the level 1, that would be 4 GCSEs at grade 2 or above, including the maths or English. The level 2 requires the 4 GCSEs at grade 3 or above, including maths and English. So that's really, maths and English plus 2 other subjects. We really would, if you are able to study computing or IT at school, it's always great to do that. And we also like to look for technical subjects in those other 2. So if you have a science grade, that's a really great indication for us that you're going to be able to do well on this technical subject. Moving up to the level 3 IT course has an expectation of 4 GCSEs at grade 9 to 4. So that's really 4 or above. And again, to include the English or maths. If you didn't come with those GCSEs, you can access this course by having completed our level 2 for 1 year before, and then progress on to the level 3 option. And then finally, we've got the level 3 computing offering. So again, this is a 2-year offering at level 3 that we're going to look at in a little bit more detail in a few minutes. And this requires a higher grade for GCSE maths because you could potentially be studying the A-level in maths with us as well. So this would require a grade 6 or above for the GCSE maths grade. Okay, so makes it a little bit more of a challenge to meet that entry requirement. Okay, so now we're going to look at the course options and really look at the units and the modules that will be studied on each course, which will help you to make a decision if it is the right course for you. Obviously, as I've said, these are broad-based courses, so you wouldn't really specialize in the IT industry until you move into an apprenticeship or maybe you move on to university. So people, students wouldn't really ever specialize at level 2 or level 3. The IT industry is really broad. We have hardware subjects, software subjects, networking, data and information, business-related subjects. So a real kind of wide industry that you can get into, and a lot of what you're doing at college will be experiencing these different areas. Some people aren't really ready to make a final decision of where they want to go in the future. So it's a real experience of the different types of things that you could end up doing, and then you would move on to specialize maybe after your time at college. So I'm not going to read through all of the course information sheets. Really, I'm putting this slide up just to let you know that there are course information sheets for everything all the courses I'm going to look at. All those course information sheets exist online. So you can go up and read a little bit more about these courses and have a little reminder of maybe some of the things that I've introduced as well. Okay, so looking at the level 1 IT offering, we have a range of different units. 4 of those units are kind of core units, so being organized, developing a personal progression plan, working with others and researching a topic. So these actually apply to level 1 qualifications if you studied in a different subject area. So they're kind of really fundamentals. But the specialist units on the level 1 are developing digital information using IT, using digital communication technologies, solving technical IT problems in the practical lab, creating a spreadsheet to solve problems, creating a website, and creating a computer program. The level 1 course is assessed purely by coursework, and the units are chosen because they give you the opportunity to have a taster of things like websites and programming that you can then go on to use in the level 2 or the level 3. So it's an introduction to things that you may do at a higher level. Moving on to the level 2 offering. Again, course information sheet will be available for this online, so I'm not going to read through all of this text, but you can, go and look at that course information sheet and back up anything that I've covered today. So the level 2 is an extended certificate in ICT, and it includes the following units. So we have the online world and technology systems. Both of these units really cover the core fundamental knowledge or theory required to have a good understanding of the subject area. And both of these units are assessed by an online test. So it would be an on-demand test. So you can have a retest if you need it. So you can have a second attempt if you need it on those particular tests. And they cover a range of questions, some multiple choice, some written answers, but all completed as an online test. So you literally just type in your answers into some software on a computer, or click in the multi-choice answer that you wish to choose. The remaining units on the course, so digital portfolio, spreadsheet development, software development, website development, and installing and maintaining hardware and software. These units are covered by coursework. So you would be given a submission deadline, and there is an opportunity to resubmit. So if you didn't achieve the criteria on the first submission, you will be given some feedback and have an opportunity to resubmit. So we've got a mixture of kind of creative subjects through the portfolio and the website. We also have some more technical subjects and obviously some practical work as well. So trying to give you an introduction across the industry. Okay, moving on to the level 3 offerings. Again, we have course information sheets available online for these. So the level 3 offering is spread across 2 years, and it is split into 2 different qualifications. So we have the level 3 foundation diploma, which is the first year, and the level 3 extended diploma is the second year. So looking at the units on these courses, we've got the information technology systems unit, which is a written exam. So the exams take place in January, but there's also an opportunity to retake that exam if you didn't complete it on the first opportunity, and that is in May, the retake opportunity. So yeah, that's very much the knowledge-based theory, the whole kind of theory behind the whole subject area. So looking at hardware, software, the internet, etc. Creating systems to manage information is the next unit, which is a database unit. So you construct a database in a controlled assessment. So again, happens in the January exam window. Not really an exam, we call it a controlled assessment. It's more about being able to create a database, but you have to complete that as a timed assessment really in class. The remaining units on the first year, social media and business, programming, website development, and computer games development are all coursework. And the kind of underlying kind of structure to those is that the first assignment is a real theory assignment where you learn about that particular subject, and the second assignment you really put that into place. So you will head up a little social media campaign, you will develop a computer program, develop a website, and develop a computer game. So whilst they have a theory element on one assignment with some more written reports, they're also going to include working with software or creating a kind of product which would feed into the second assignment. Majority of students will go on to top up and remain with us into the second year and complete the full extended diploma. The benefit of completing 2 years on this course is it gives you the UCAS points required to access university. So 2 years on the level 3 is equivalent to the A levels that you might do if you stayed at school in sixth form. So it gives you the required UCAS points. 1 year on this qualification will give some UCAS points, but it isn't going to give access to the full range of university courses. So the majority of students would go on to complete 2 years on this course, although you could exit after the first year and still hold a complete qualification in the foundation diploma. Obviously, you are limiting your UCAS points if you didn't complete the second year on the course. The second year on the course includes the following units. So technical level probably goes up, well, definitely goes up a little bit in year 2, which we'd expect. We want to see that progression. And also, you would be studying 7 units. So it's definitely more of a challenge in the year 2 from the technicality, but also from the quantity of the work that you'd be doing. So IT project management is a real opportunity to do more of what you've done before. So if you really liked software development or web development, for example, you could do more of that in your project. So it's an individual project. The student gets to choose what the project is going to be based upon. And it's more about us assessing your management of that project rather than what the project is itself. The 2 controlled assessments on the year 2, so again, these would happen in the January window with an opportunity to retake in May, are cybersecurity and IT service delivery. So they are business scenario based papers that you do over a number of hours to assess their cybersecurity of a business or to pitch for an IT service. IT technical support has some lab and practical time, but also has some assignments to look at how IT tech support is delivered in the real world. And then we have data modeling, which is really advanced use of spreadsheets, cloud storage and collaboration, the opportunity to build a cloud server, so a practical outcome, and 2D and 3D graphics, a little bit of something creative and something a little bit different, so you can learn about some other software on the course. We do have another offering at level 3. This was trialed this year and is potentially going to be trialed into next year as well, depending on the number of applicants that we have for the course. And this is trying to provide a real alternative to A-levels at school, where we look at a diploma over 2 years. You would have to remain on the course for the 2 years to achieve the diploma. And this is teamed up with an A-level in maths. So it's really about getting 2 A-level equivalents related to computing and 1 A-level in maths. So I would say, the theory on the computing is probably a little bit closer to the A-level you would do if you did an A-level in computing. So you've got the principles of computer science and the fundamentals of computer systems. So they're the theory-based knowledge units in the first year. And then you would look at IT system security and encryption. So that's really the cyber element in the first year, and software and website development. So a lot of similarities between the level 3 IT course, a little bit of a different mixture, but you still got the cybersecurity, software and web development in this course as well as the IT course, and not a big difference between the 2 from that perspective. Then moving into the second year, again, planning a project, building computer systems. So that's more the lab practical element. Systems analysis and design, relational database development. Again, we had databases on the IT course, and programmable devices and controllers. So some more programming in the second year. So this is an alternative to the level 3 IT course. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough applicants to run this offering this year. But it is open for applications again moving into the next year. And it's going to be the most suitable for those students who want to go on and do cybersecurity or computer science at A-levels, at university, but don't want to stay and do A-levels at school. So it's a real alternative to A-levels at school. The IT course will also provide progression to most university courses. This one just have the benefit of you also achieving an A-level in maths. If you are a little unsure, because obviously those 2 offerings are quite similar, then please feel free to ask me a question and we can, answer your query on that one. Okay, moving on. I have probably covered this slide. This was just to reinforce that the level 3 IT can also get you onto the university, because that one does come with the UCAS points, but the level 3 computing offering really has that A-level in maths as well. Okay, just to take a look at a sample timetable. So the timetable is delivered across 3 days at college. The yellow kind of classes will be IT classes. Obviously, the large majority of the timetable is related to computing or IT. There is an opportunity to retake an English or math, which is the case for some of our level 2 progressors onto level 3, or students at level 1 or level 2 that would need to retake their English or math potentially. There is a tutorial slot, which we'll look at in a minute, and also there is a directed study element, which is an opportunity to complete coursework at college. So you will obviously get assignments and coursework to do, so you get a little bit of timetable time to enable you to go and do some of that coursework. So there is 2 days where you're not timetabled, and the expectation is that you would be doing either an industry placement or some work experience in that time. Some people may get an industry placement, which is the kind of title for a long, a large amount of hours, and maybe up to 315 hours. So that would be across the Thursday and Friday potentially. So even though this is a full-time course over 3 days, there is the opportunity that you may be with in the workplace with an employer on the other 2 days of the week, and also managing coursework, that's going to make people quite busy. If you didn't get an industry placement, there could also be a work experience placement in industry, or it could be a work experience project. And this is just our title for less hours. So this could be around 60 hours. So on a Thursday or Friday, although you're not timetabled, there could be an industry placement or hopefully a work placement or a work project. One of those would definitely take place. So there will be something else going on the Thursday and Friday. It also enables students to to have the potential to do some part-time work when you're on the course, which is going to be another important thing to have on your CV. The overall package for a full-time course is called the study program. And I've introduced probably the majority of these things, the English and Maths retake, the potential for tutorial. So that could involve group tutorial for enrichment and also one-to-one tutorials for pastoral support. And then we've mentioned directed study. We also have other enrichment going on at the college, such as sports are available. And then also I've mentioned the industry placement and work experience when we looked at the timetable. So these are just obviously, if it was a normal open event, we'd be able to show you a little bit of the college, but in a virtual open event, we're not able to do that at the moment. So this is just a couple of photos to really show you some of our learning environments at Trowbridge, and our lab environments, and also some of the classrooms and some of the students working in the classrooms. So our units are all delivered by knowledgeable lecturers, and we've got really good resources. We're really happy in computing IT. We have good, really well equipped classrooms and our lab facility as well. So we're very lucky to have good resources that enable us to deliver our qualifications. Some of the other resources that are available to students is the software. So all students would get an Office 365 subscription, which will give you access to the main Office apps at college and home, but also to OneDrive storage and the Microsoft Teams platform that we are using to enable us, to help us with our delivery, whether that's in person or online. And then you also get access to specialist software at college, such as the Adobe Creative Cloud, so professional level industry software. And the other thing that we're able to offer students is access to Azure DevTools for teaching. And this means you can download Microsoft software for use at home. Okay, so basically free shopping for Microsoft software, so operating systems, etc., Visual Studio for programming, and you can access that software at home as well. We do provide some other resources for our students. The coursebook as an ebook. We have our eStudy VLE, which is a place for all the documents related to the course. And we also sign our students up for subscriptions to other helpful platforms, such as Know It All Ninja, which is a kind of revision platform for building you up for your tests on level 2 and your exams and control assessments on level 3. So all of those come with the support of Know It All Ninja revision as well. We have a website to enable students to kind of track their own progress, which is ProPortal. So you could see the mark book as you your progress, you get things ticked off and you progress through the course, and also includes things like the assessment schedule, so you know what's coming up, when the exams and the deadlines are going to take place. One thing that is a real strength of our area is preparing students for the next opportunity, where they're going to progress to next. And we try to look at different things like apprenticeships and university applications to support individuals with their next step. So we can see things that we've done we take students on trips, for example, University of West of England, UCAS event, apprenticeship days. We've worked with the MOD for apprenticeship days, and we do other offerings like careers talks and mock interviews to really prepare students for their next step. So moving into the last few slides for the presentation, just to show you the UCAS points that are available. So obviously your overall grade would make a difference to the number of UCAS points that you achieved. So this would be for students on the level 3 offerings that are then wanting to move on to university. Your UCAS points would be important, and you would need to look at the university course you wanted to access and check that your UCAS points would really get you there. Okay, so that's a benefit for the level 3 offerings. The UCAS points don't apply to the level 1 and level 2 offering. Okay, as I said, normally we would have you in college, and so I'm just going to show you a little bit of where we are at the college. So this is a kind of map of the college, and the main reception is into the Ashton building. All the courses for we're part of business and IT as a department, and all of our courses take place in the Broughton building. So our building is zoned now as part of our COVID controls. So we have one room on the ground floor of the Broughton building, which is our lab environment. So we're the blue zone, zone 1. So we have our lab environment, which we've seen an image of. So we've got a lab environment down on the ground floor of the B block, and then up on the top floor of the B block, all of the rooms up on the top floor of the B block are for business and IT students. So we kind of own this zone up on the top of a top floor of the Broughton building. And we have one room which is available as a kind of breakout room. So that there is a breakout space in our zone as well. Okay, so obviously, maybe not quite as good as showing you the actual college, but that's all we could do. We are having a 3D tour of the college, which will be on the website, available at some point in the future as well. Okay, so thinking about next steps. So if you've seen a course that you feel is right, then make an application. Obviously, if you're unsure, maybe between a couple of courses, then I would still encourage you to make an application for at least one, or you can make multiple applications. If you make an application, you will be invited into an online interview where a conditional or unconditional offer can be made. A conditional offer would be made if you are yet to take your GCSEs, but you can achieve or receive, an unconditional offering if you already hold your GCSE grades. We can discuss your course options with you, obviously in more detail on a one-to-one basis at that time. So if there's still things that you're uncertain of, obviously you can ask a question now or via my email address, but you will also be able to ask a question at interview. So don't worry if you make an application for one course and we end up changing that later. That's not a problem at all. We can do that. Okay. Okay, so we are at the end of my allotted time. A little bit of a whistle-stop tour through everything. Thank you very much for listening in. If you have any questions, we literally have one more minute where we're open on this meeting. And after that, I will be available on the email address, which is in the chat or also on the slide. So if you want to copy out that email address, if you have a specific query, you can get me on that email address to ask. We do need to finish at past, which we've just arrived at because the next talk is due to start. So thank you very much for your time. That's worked out pretty much perfectly on the timings. Thank you very much. This will be recorded if you want to watch back, or obviously if you do have any questions, please contact me on my email address. Thank you very much, and goodbye.